In today's corporate landscape, the companies who react fastest to change are often the ones that come out ahead, right? So how can your company develop those killer instincts to gain the competitive edge? Our next guest says the key to company's sixth sense is its strategic management. Thomas Koulopoulos is the author of a new book called Corporate Instinct, Building a Knowing Enterprise for the 21st Century. He joins us today from New York City. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill.
Obviously, flexibility is key to success today. But what is the biggest stumbling block to flexibility in your view?
You know, the single biggest stumbling block is what is often termed corporate memory. It is the fear of innovation. Companies get stuck in products that work so well that they simply stop innovating. They become complacent, if you will.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, you know, I think you have to constantly break it, and if you look at some of the great success stories in terms of market value and where stockholders and stakeholders put their money, it's in those companies that can continuously innovate. They break it over and over again.
Where does most change come from, though, the top or the bottom of the corporate ladder?
Bill, it clearly comes from the bottom. You need leadership at the top, but the change, the innovation, the great ideas come from the bottom. We did a short survey, about 350 people at large organizations, and more than 50% said that a good idea was more likely to end up at another company out of frustration than to be part of the company they were currently with. That's a very sad statement of affairs, I think.
Funny, we did a similar survey just this morning where we asked some people on the street if there is a good idea that you think that comes from a lower person in the echelon of corporate America, what happens to that idea often, as your survey seemed to suggest as well? I mean, intuitively, you can expect it not to always be honored or the credit given where credit is due, but for the most part, why does that happen?
Well, I think it has to do with the way we are accustomed to working within an organization, within a hierarchy, within a chain of command and control. And my advice to most organizations is that they give up control and start coordinating their intellectual resources. The reality is, Bill, that if a good idea exists in the company, it should be able to find its way to the top. And the value companies place on their employees and the good ideas these people have will be reflected in the way that markets value those same companies.
Is it easier for this to happen in a service-oriented company as opposed to a manufacturing, which is much more capital-intensive, or not?
It is easier, but there are great role models like Hewlett-Packard in the manufacturing space that have incredible return on time formulas. Their profitability comes primarily from products that were introduced in the last 3 years. So when you look at your concept cash time, that's usually a good indicator of how good your instinct is in that organization.
Tom, good luck with the book. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Bill.
Thomas Koulopoulos, the